Hey everyone, well I just recorded this entire video and I got up and forgot to stop my recording, pulled the memory card out of my camera and corrupted the whole file. So here we go again. Let's talk about Numbers chapter 32 in 5 minutes, free PDF on our website if you would like to download it. Same one that you're seeing up on the screen. Who are our main characters for this chapter? We've got, first of all, a group of tribes, the tribes of Israel. Specifically the tribe of Gad, Reuben, and half of the tribe of Manasseh. The men from these tribes went to Moses and they made a special request to be granted the land east of the Jordan River as their inheritance for a place for them to live. We'll discuss that in the outline section further. Then we have Moses, he's the leader of the Israelites. We have Eleazar, who is Aaron's son, and he took his father's place as high priest when his father Aaron died. Then we have Joshua. Joshua was Moses' longtime assistant, and he was the man who God selected to take Moses' place as the leader of Israel when Moses eventually died. In terms of our timeline, these events occurred at the tail end of the Israelites' 40 years of walking around the wilderness on their way to the Canaan land. This would be approximately 1450 BC. In terms of our map, the last known location that I can find of the camp of Israel is, it comes from chapter 31, verse 12. The Israelites were camped north of Pisgah on the plains of Moab. All right, now let's move over to our outline. I've got this all under one section, verses 1 through 42. Gad, Reuben, and the half-tribe of Manasseh asked to live east of the Jordan River. So the people in the tribes of Reuben and Gad specifically are mentioned as having a lot of livestock. And when they saw the land of Gilead and the land of Jazer, and how ideal it was for all of their livestock, they, along with half of the tribe of Manasseh, went to Moses and Eleazar, and they made a special request that they be allowed to live on the east side of the Jordan River rather than going to the west side with all of the other tribes. Now, initially, this request made Moses really angry because he assumed that these men were just going to hang out on the east and they weren't going to help their fellow countrymen fight for the land of Canaan as they, had originally intended to do. Moses was so angry, in fact, that he compared these 2.5 tribes to the 10 spies who 40 years earlier had discouraged the Israelites from going in and conquering Canaan, and God had punished the Israelites by making them wander in the wilderness for 40 years. But the men from the 2.5 tribes assured Moses that all of their fighting men were going to accompany the rest of the nation across the Jordan. They were going to fight for Canaan alongside them, and they would only return home when all of Canaan was conquered. So this appeased Moses' anger, and he told them that they could live in the land of Gilead if they kept this promise. He charged Joshua and Eleazar, who were kind of the future leaders of the Israelite people, to make sure that they didn't go back on their word once Moses had died, that they kept this promise. Moses gave them the land of Bashan and the land of the Amorites. He gave this to the 2.5 tribes, and they conquered that land and began to inhabit it. And so that's what the 42 verses of Numbers chapter 32 are all about. Now for our application section. Everyone needs to be contributing to the collective success of God's people. It would have been wrong and selfish for the people of Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh to abandon their countrymen to fight for Canaan alone. They recognized that they were part of something bigger than themselves, and that their mission was more than just to achieve a personal blessing. They didn't say, well, we found what we want over here, so the rest of you guys, forget you. They recognized that they're part of something bigger, and as disciples of Jesus, we need to recognize the same thing. The Church of Jesus has a mission to complete, and everyone has a role to play. That mission is more than just the achievement of a personal blessing of salvation. Our devotion and our service to the Lord doesn't end when we are assured that we're going to heaven. We're not like, well, that's pretty much all I wanted here, so the rest of you guys, you're on your own. No, we continue to serve God, to advance His kingdom, and to see God's salvation given to other people. And additionally, we owe it to our comrades, our fellow disciples, to help them to achieve that goal and to support them in their fight. There's more to Christianity than living a life of personal holiness and worshiping God on, Sunday when your church gets together. We also have to find ways to support the collective congregation of believers. If we neglect that responsibility, then we're leaving them to fight for Canaan alone.